I've jumped ahead a bit, moved back to the front of the bike now that the rear's all in order. Obviously the forks have been taken off and are over here because I'm going to be looking at doing the steering head or headstock bearing or whatever the proper title is, but that's going to be the next task, so stripping down all the front end just so we can get that going. Tidy workspace as always, but there's the screen off over there. The light is dropped out of the way, so we're going to get the bracket that holds the rest of the things out of the way as well. A couple of bolts in here and get that shifted as well. I mean, this may or may not have been necessary, but I had plans to slightly reroute some of the wires in relation to the new guard over there as well. But yeah, just gradually removing all these little cluster of connectors, but helpfully there's certain color coded ones and different sizes and shapes of ones, so piecing things back together shouldn't be too tricky. One step closer, got the clocks off. The pile of parts continues. Headlight gone. Obviously wires everywhere, but slowly feeding them out, so getting everything freed up. But just got to be careful that I know where everything's going once it goes back. I think all of the wires now are disconnected, but we've created some rather obscure sculpture. Because, oh, would you look, the handlebars are off. And everything else with it. So that should now mean we've got access to do the job that we actually needed to do. So let's have a look at those bearings. Well, having a feel of that, you obviously can't have a feel of that because you're all the way in the internet world. But that is not feeling smooth at all. That is kind of notchy in a couple of places and probably too tight, if anything. So it certainly did need doing. Hopefully it's just a matter of adjustment. We're on some heavy duty stuff now. We've got a 27 to get on this big old chunker, and I might need two hands for this one, she said. Doo-ba-doo, doo-ba-da-boo, doo-da-bow, doo-da-ba-bow. I thought I had a C-spanner, but I don't have a C-spanner. So I just have a smash it with a hammer spanner. A little bit of a drift, punch, whatever. Just tap around on these tabs, loosen it off. Many wonderful things revealed. Bearings there, so this whole thing should slide away and find itself trapped amongst the other many things that's been removed. But then we can clean up these bearings. They don't look too bad, but we'll have to see once they're removed. I've got my Jazzy earring starter kit sorted. What we need to do is get those greased up, throw the bottom one on the bottom yoke, slip it in up that tube, and get the rest of it put together, all greased up, and start the reassembly. Getting this all set up right can be a bit of a fiddly task. I believe we do have a video on doing the whole process here, which you might find of use. You can look that up on our channel. But this is kind of moving quite nicely. There's no kind of wobbliness in there, so the free play is gone, but it's still able to move nice and freely where it is. So that's looking good to me. There's the top yoke back in play. Let's get the fork tubes put in so that we can get the alignment, and then everything else basically just chucking it back on rather than strewn around the floor. I've also got the gaiters put on the forks. I am liking the orange. So the forks were on to get that alignment between the top and bottom yoke sorted, but then you take them off again to give a good bit of access to get everything else routed around where it needs to be. So I've obviously raced ahead, got the bars back on, the clocks back on, and then it's just sort of getting into the wiring clipped back in and where it needs to be. So we move on. That's the bulk of that lot sorted out. So got all the wiring tidied up, light back on, screen on, everything tucked away nicely behind there, fairly neat. And there we have the forks on. And you'll see there the new mudguard, and as it stands it is just kind of like wedged in, just to kind of get an idea of how it's going to look, how it's going to fit, and see if I can actually make it work today. It may not be the case. I might have to just put the old one back on for now and work out a plan of action for the new one at a later date. I think I've got some tidying up to do, but it is mess well earned. Everything's reconnected, speedo, caliper, brakes, and it's all together. I'm thinking it's looking pretty smart. I'm liking it. I do enjoy that orange. It was a bit of a gamble, but I think it's paid off. I might have to do a little kind of accent on the back, maybe a little ring on the tyre or something, or whatever, just be careful. A little bit of paint probably still to go on there when I get hold of some silver. But all in all, I think it's come out really nice. And that, my friends, is... Well, it has been a bit of a long day on this one. I've tried my best to get everything finished up so that I can potentially get out and ride it tomorrow. Hopefully it's not a freezing cold day. But I've enjoyed doing the work on the bike, and it's hopefully going to be rewarding. I think I'll probably have to do another little video of whether or not any of what I've done has been a positive change, and hopefully that shall be coming to you soon. So give us your thumbs up. I'll be happy to hear any comments, suggestions or feedback of any type in the comments below. So I think that'll do for now. Give us a subscribe if you can find us. If not, subscribe, and we'll bring you some more stuff. So cheers.